Hello, I'm Ryan, and welcome to Drinking Irish, where, as I've been doing every night throughout this crisis, these restrictions, this lockdown, whatever you want to call it, drinking a different Irish beer to give y'all on the internet more ideas of things you can drink, and also just to give a bit of a shout out to all our brewers here on the island, and just doing my bit, I suppose, to try and get y'all to think about helping them out, because obviously they're dealing a lot with the restrictions. Tonight we're going back to classic, the Franciscan Well, and we're going with one of theirs. I remember having basically the early version of this and then the later version, which is why I'm bringing it up, which is Chieftain. Now, way back when they were still in the test mode, when they were working out what are we going to do with this beer, actually before Crackle will do this, and it was like, a 7%, it was a really big, powerful IPA. And when you're going up that high, you can get a lot of flavour in. So when they went to market, though, I'm actually trying to find it here because I know they dropped it down a lot. I'm trying to actually remember the actual ABV here because it's kind of the entire point of this ramble. Sorry about this. I am blind. Come on. Where are you? You can tell I really do my prep. Wow, I can't see. Oh, 5.5. So they dropped it way down. Basically, same strength as say, Vietnam by Trouble. And the question was, would it keep the flavour? And the short answer is, it bloody well did, which was a great job. So it's not as powerful, but it still has what I want from the beer, which is, great taste, really refreshing, gets to the point very fast. And so, we haven't fully emptied the head, but, well, actually haven't even close. I'd say my buddy Jared Hewitt would give this only like 1, maybe 2 10 Emmets, so he actually has an Emmett grading scale, it would appear. Well, sort of. So so gonna give this a go. It's one of the ones that's like a lot more accessible, I think, for a lot of people who are sort of trying to, try different beers and maybe haven't had that much craft before. Had a great chat there on the crack beer community last night about that, that we're getting more people are trying some. But also a lot of people who would have only had the 1 or 2 are now ordering more. Now my buddy Alan Cran has been doing some of that. And so you can see actually even I mentioned that it's the same sort of strength as Vietnam by Trouble. It's actually similar coloration as well. Not quite as dark, but very similar coloration. Light, hoppy, very good bit of grapefruit in there on the first taste. Yeah, and you really keep that grapefruit coming through actually as you go. And I think grapefruit's a really good type of flavour to get off an IPA. It's one of those ones that just is nice and very summery as well. So Shane Long, Mr. Franciscan Well, better way of describing him, I'm sure he'd use other titles that are far less, bombastic. He'd almost certainly say to you, have this with a pizza. And it works fine with pizza, but I just had a burrito, and a particularly spicy one at that. And this would even off perfectly with it. I'm just thinking that, like a burrito, some chips and dip, particularly the spicier dip, with this, really good, flow, really balance it off together. And really would match up very well, it's great to be able to order burritos at the moment. The one thing actually that the 7% did in the original draft, so to speak, draft pun, was it was a little slower to drink. This one, actually no, it's not really a fast drinker. What it is this one, because I know this actually been drinking it before. I'm not going to finish the glass in this shot, in this video. I find when I drink Chieftain is the first couple of sips, bang, 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 and then you get about, say, a third of the way, nearly halfway into the glass, and that's when you start leveling off. You drink it a bit slower, and you really come to appreciate all the complexities and the flavour, which is great. But yeah, a bit of toffee actually on this as well now, actually, just in the sort of the aftertaste. And it's ideal because I had some lovely chipotle sauce on the side from my burrito, and this is really balancing it out there. So I'm keeping the taste of the chipotle in my mouth a bit, but also taking away the heat from it, so it's a lovely combination. And this is another great beer that's worth getting. So what can you do, apart from obviously looking after yourself and those close to you? Do what you can, have a good beer, and try and buy local if you can. I obviously prefer if you do, because it'll help our local brewers out. And listen, on that note, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Slán live Blair.